let's go over to Canada for a second, y'all. Because I kind of talked about Canada over the weekend, but I want to revisit this whole conversation about Canada, and I'll tell you why. But let me first show you the ad that Canada decided that they wanted to run. I'm going to show you the ad that Canada wanted to run. This is the ad that Canada ran. Here in the United States of America, too. They ran it here.
Tonight, Canada pulled the plug on a TV commercial that infuriated President Trump, prompting him to abruptly cut off trade talks. The ad uses the words of the late President Reagan to make a case against U.S.-imposed tariffs.
America's jobs and growth are at stake.
The ad, paid for by the province of Ontario, set off Mr. Trump on social media, calling the ad fake, with Reagan speaking negatively about tariffs.
Such trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer.
The Reagan Presidential Foundation said the ad misrepresents the 1987 address on trade and said it should be watched in full. This dust-up is another skirmish in a trade war with Canada. Today, Canada's Prime Minister sidestepped the ad fury, but says he wants to keep negotiating.
When the Americans are ready to have those discussions.
The trade drama comes as Wall Street soared, with the Dow closing above 47,000 for the first time, with the S&P and...
Hold on, before we continue on, are the bag chasers getting this money or no? Are the bag chasers getting to this bag or no? We are on a generational run when it comes to the bag. We are on a generational run when it comes to getting this money. Gosh, look how blessed we are. Look how blessed we are. Just crazy, just an insane amount of money that is flooding into our brokerage accounts. And it's unfortunate because there's so many people that said, no, I'm not going to try this. I'm not going to spend my little $15 to make $1 million. We just going to sit here and be dusty. Okay, I got you. I hear you.
NASDAQ up as well, driven in part by data that shows inflation rose less than expected. Tonight, the president begins a 3-country tour in Asia, where trade and a meeting with China's leader are on the agenda.
So let's pivot now. Now that you've seen that, and the Trump administration has been putting pressure on Canada, I told y'all back in February, I said, Canada, y'all should have tried to join the United States of America, but no. You decided that you wanted to do it your way, and now where are we at? Now what are we looking at? We're looking at a situation where you guys are basically in the lines for the food pantry. Y'all country is on the brink of collapse and bankruptcy. You're going to probably try to join the United States of America anyway. Y'all elected Mark Carney, who is running the country into the ground in no time. And now you're at the mercy of Trump because you're losing jobs. Canadian companies are moving over to the United States of America. And you decided in your trade war that you wanted to run a crazy ad. Okay. You think you crazy? You think you tough? You want to keep playing games? Well, this is what Trump decided to do.
We go to Lucas Tomlinson, who's waiting for President Trump to arrive in Kuala Lumpur. Lucas, you can tell me how to say that right and tell us your report.
Close enough, Joey. Good evening. It's not Chinese leader Xi Jinping on drawing President Trump's ire tonight, but Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney aboard Air Force One. President Trump announcing that he's slapping 10% additional tariffs on Canada after that controversial World Series ad featuring Ronald Reagan aired. Here's President Trump taking a Truth Social. I'll read it in part, Joey. It says, quote, "Because of their serious misrepresentation of the facts and hostile act, I'm increasing the tariff on Canada by 10% over and above what they're paying now. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Now, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney arrived here in Malaysia earlier tonight. President Trump says he has no plans to meet him. The controversial ad the government of Ontario first ran during the Toronto Blue Jays playoff run, the ad selectively edited a speech by Ronald Reagan after the former president had put tariffs on Japan. Trump says, like Reagan, he believes in fair trade. The president spoke about the ad aboard Air Force One earlier.
I heard they were pulling the ad. I didn't know they were putting it on a little bit more. They could have pulled it tonight.
And the ad did air tonight, Joey. Now, ahead of President Trump's big meeting with the General Secretary of the Chinese Communist Party, Xi Jinping, you mentioned rare earths off the top, Joey. Another big issue is the ongoing trade war with soybeans. Last year, China bought $13 billion worth of American soybeans. This year, zero. And as China is beefing up its forces nearby in the South China Sea, the U.S. is doing the same thing in the Caribbean, deploying the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier strike group. As you mentioned, she's the largest, newest, and most advanced aircraft carrier in the Navy's arsenal. She has electromagnetic catapults to launch planes, unlike the steam catapult carriers they've used since the 1950s. Sorry to keep.
So Canada is basically feeling the wrath of the United States of America and Trump. This past weekend, I exhibited to you guys why they are suffering, and I showed you all of the different companies and the people that are in food lines, and they had grocery stores that were opening and people were wrapped around the building for these jobs, and they used to be high-paying jobs. I don't know why Canada want to go and get all of these jobs anyway. I thought that y'all liked socialism. I thought that y'all was looking forward to New York becoming just like Canada. That's what New York is going to be like. That's what New York is going to be like. When Mom Donnie gets done with New York, it's going to be similar to Canada. They also asked him, hey, what about that TV ad that you ran that pissed off Trump and basically got a 10% raise in tariffs on Canada? And this is what he had to say.
Days and over the course of recent months, which is to build those other partnerships and deepen those other partnerships on which we're getting very much traction. Thank you.
Next question, Murray.
Hi, Prime Minister. Murray Brewster with CBC News. President Trump says he's canceled these trade talks because he's upset about the Ontario government ad. We've heard from the Business Council of Canada and even some of President Trump's own advisors who suggest the frustration with Canada runs deeper. So is this about the ads or is this about something else?
Well, look, as I say...
choose your words carefully. Choose your words carefully, sir.
And there were a series of very detailed, very specific, very comprehensive discussions, negotiations on the areas I just listed to in response to the previous question, up until the point of those ads running. First point. Second point, I would suggest you take the president at his word for his reason. And that is the reason why, from the perspective of the federal government, which I'm responsible, we stand ready to pick up on those discussions when the United States wishes to pick up on those discussions. So those in the room, those exchanging term sheets, those having the discussions about specific areas where we can make mutual progress to the benefit of workers and businesses and communities in our respective countries had been making progress. Those ads came. The president had the reactions which you have seen, made the decisions that he has made, which, you know, those are his decisions to take, and we're in the situation we're in.
Follow-up?
As a follow-up, Prime Minister, given everything that we've seen.
Basically, what he said is a bunch of nothing. He didn't say anything. He didn't add any. He was very careful with his words because he knows that in the event that he says something that's out of pocket and it get back to Big Daddy Trump, tariffs. Tariffs. Hey, be careful what you say. You see, you caused yourselves to pay us another 10%. Trump will make a phenomenal mob boss. In another lifetime, Metaverse Trump would have made a phenomenal mob boss because he is out here tariffing everybody. He is making sure that he run up the bag on everybody.
Do you really think the United States is interested in making a trade deal with Canada?
Look, we are their second largest trading partner. We provide a series of essential goods for their economy. We are one of many providers, but we provide in some areas essential goods for their economy. And we create more room for them to do other things. I'll give you an example. If you look at Canadian exports of aluminum to the United States, and aluminum is bauxite and energy. I mean, there's a little more to it, but you can simplify it to that. The embedded energy in the Canadian aluminum exports, which provides 60% of the aluminum to the U.S. market, is the equivalent of the energy of 10 Hoover dams in the United States. Now, is the best use of that scale of energy, creating that scale of energy to make aluminum in the United States, as opposed to continue to foster and power the AI revolution, which the U.S. is leading, or power homes and others? I mean, these are decisions for the United States to make. Point being, as a supplier to the United States, and I gave aluminum as one, I could give many examples, we are an important supplier in many areas. As well, we are a large customer. You know, for over 30 states, Canada is the largest customer, export customer for those states in the United States. So there is a very strong, deep trading relationship, and there is an alignment of interests in many areas. And that's the reason why we have elements of the arrangements that we have today with a large degree of low tariff trade and the benefits from that. So
we want no tariff trade.
We're ready to have those discussions to further improve them, and we'll have them when it's appropriate. But we're not resting because we can build. The return on building at home is far greater than the hit from trade turbulence with the United States. And the opportunities internationally are considerable. And candidly, Canada has not focused on the relationships to the same extent as we should have in any trading environment with the United States.
This guy is boring. Oh, my God. This guy is boring.
Let alone a situation where they're changing their trade policy. And that's what we're doing now.
Next question. Question question.
Judy Trin with CTV News. Donald Trump says he doesn't want to see you at all at APEC. Wow. Has the Canadian government given any consideration to the possibility that he doesn't want to negotiate, and do you have a contingency plan for that?
We have lots of, yes. The short answer is yes.
When we get these boring leaders, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is I'm going to set this up. I'm going to work on this tomorrow. I have a walking desk over here, and maybe I'll pull it into the Millionaire Morning Show area. Let me see.
Detail those contingency plans. But I will go to the big, obvious plan that is there in plain sight and will be further detailed in the budget on November 4th. And we have been saying this for months. I said this before I was elected. Emphasize the importance of us giving ourselves far more than any foreign government could take away, whatever the trading environment. And that's to build at home and to build strong at home. And we intend to unleash hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars of investment right here at home. Well, not right
Figured
here,
it out.
Metaphorically there.
So this is what we're going to do.
In Canada, while we're building these partnerships.
Shout out to Canada for sucking. Canada is under duress. You will pay your tariffs, and we will not give you anything in return.